Hello everyone, this is Aaron White with White Stocking Produce. Today, Bronson and I, we're gonna go kind of do a little bit of shelf building over where my cows are at. I got a bunch of tools laying around the barn where I kind of park the grain and the tractor and whatnot. So we're gonna go over and try and build some shelves. Well, we're already running into problems. I got about halfway to where we were going and realized that we left the screws back here. So flipped the UE in the road, came all the way back, walked into the shop looking for the screws, and just so happened they were in the back of the truck, just under a board that I didn't see. Anyway, well, we'll see if we can make it this time. Well, we finally made it. Sloppy mess out here. If you guys take a look at the ground, it's just been a mess. Been wet. Been a good Thanksgiving though. But anyway, it's just been a real mess while we've been here. It's muddy. Started feeding my cows some hay. Kind of ran out of pasture. I got way too many cows right now, but sometimes that's not that bad of a deal. So we're just getting unloaded here, getting the tools unloaded. Did the chores, so we're gonna start working on. We're in the barn now. Nothing too fancy. That's a really old manure spreader right there. I think that thing's about probably 100 years old. I don't know. I know that the old boy that lived here, he passed away recently, but he actually got that manure spreader. He found it down on the bottom by a river, and a tree was growing right up into the middle of it, and he ended up pulling the thing out, put a new floor in it, and got it working. And his daughter, actually, we were spreading manure out in the row crop field, and she was out there pulling it with this, and then I was out there pulling with my little 510 New Holland, and that little thing could work. But one issue that kind of came up was as she was pulling, the chain fell off and we lost it out in the row crop field, and so it stopped working. The thing was full of manure, and I ended up scooping that out with my hand. That wasn't a fun job, but anyway, yeah, she's old, still works. Got to get that chain back on it. We'd be good to go. So right behind Bronson there, I got all of these tools. I've been keeping them in the buckets, and my goal today is to set up some shelves right over here so I can store them and not have to worry so much about them sitting over here kind of by my little 3-ton wagon. That's where I kind of keep some feed in. But that's our goal today, is to make some shelves. Nothing too spectacular. Right over there. So we're going to get started and get this wrapped up. Done the shelf, if you can see there, kind of got everything stacked up. Didn't take too long. Just had to screw in a couple screws and put the boards up. Even hung up the shovels, the spade, and the hay fork. But anyway, pretty easy little job there, but it kind of makes things a little bit more organized. Now I got Bronson back here working. Got him stacking fence posts. it's just got kind of to be a mess when the kids come in. They kind of like to run on them, and it spread them all out, and so that's part of his job, is to get those stacked back up. All right, so we got it done. Now we're going to go ahead and get it loaded up, get the tools loaded up, and we got one more thing that we got to do. We got to go check the fence. So we're going to go head out and go check the fence and see how that's working. Walking out to the pasture here, go check out my electric fence, my solar electric fence, the one that I created. Been having a little issue with it. The charge controller, the piece that controls the input from the solar panel, the output from your fencer, and then of course storing the energy, hasn't been working very well. So I ended up buying a new one, kind of put it all together. So we're going out to make sure it's still working. My calves were kind of slipping underneath the poly wire and getting to the other side. And beyond that, just a little bit of fence that they could step over. So usually cows are easy to keep in because they're used to the poly wire. They're scared of it. They've been shocked a handful of times. Calves, kind of takes them a while to learn their lesson. Well, there's the electric fencer. There's the solar panel. We walk up to it, you can kind of hear it. It's kind of clicking, but don't know how well, how strong it is. So we're gonna have to take it off and kind of check it out. She works. So one issue that we've been having this year is the rain. You know, too much of a good thing can be a bad thing. So, you know, no matter where I put the cows, they kind of tear up the ground, and you know, it is what it is. What I have noticed though, what's also a positive of that when they do tear up the ground, is they're massaging in their manure and urine into the ground, which allows for you know, the fertilizer to be spread. But it's definitely an eyesore. By the way, if you ever decide to get into farming, use electric fence for your cattle, sheep, whatever, invest in a screwdriver. Easy way to check the fence to see if it works. You just put it to something that's connected to the ground and zaps away. Tells you it's good. Another idea, if you ever run into a situation where your fence is somewhere, you don't know if it's grounded out, it's running out of power. I learned this from my grandpa. What you do is you turn your radio to AM and you turn it on and you listen. And if you hear a snapping noise in your radio, that means your electric fence has been grounded out somewhere and you need to find that and get that fixed. So just a little old timer way of finding out if your fence isn't working right. Well, that about takes care of it. We got the new shelves in, did chores, checked on the electric fence, which the cows kind of started moving down there, kind of just grazing some leftover grass. But now we're ready to go back home. About time for lunch, so we'll go see what we can dig up at home and enjoy a nice peaceful lunch. It's never peaceful. Anyway, till next time, happy farming.